Welcome to our breakout session at next. Sorry. Today we will be exploring some of the most pressing challenges facing the Belgian public sector as it navigates digital transformation, especially around digital sovereignty, regulatory pressures like NIS2, GDPR, or AI Act that is coming, and of course the cyber threat that we, let's say, have every day. So I'm delighted to introduce our two key speakers, Steven Vermeulen and Jérémy Grandclaudon. I will start with Steven. Steven is CIO and head of ICT at Digitaal Vlaanderen. Together with his team, he's building a better, more effective and inclusive digital-first service delivered by the Flemish government. Jérémy is a senior cybersecurity expert at Agence du Numérique in the Walloon region, and he plays a pivotal role in shaping cybersecurity strategies and promoting resilient digital infrastructure across the public sector. So their diverse experience will help us to better understand the challenges from multiple angles. So I've set the scene and I will start with Steven. So let's dive right in the first question. Steven, how can local and regional authorities in Flanders truly own their own digital future, digital sovereignty, despite global tech pressure and regulatory demand, and this from theory into practice?
Okay, just testing the mic. Okay. So lots of questions in there. First thing, I want to correct the question already.
Sorry. That's
No,
what the
I mean,
question
I
I
think
got.
when we talk about ownership, I think we need to talk about control because that's really what this is about. And sovereignty, of course, is a very hot topic, specifically for government. It is a very hot topic because what is a government if there is no trust from civilians in the government? Then you cannot basically do your job well. So that's what we. So basically, the bar for us is a bit higher than for other ones. And yeah, I mean, this is a complex field. And if I ask around to our suppliers, to our tech people, then I very often get the same answer. And then they say, okay, it depends. And that just shows how complex it is because there is no single solution here. So anybody that's here and that wants from me to hear the silver bullet solution to how do you solve sovereignty, I don't have it. There is no silver bullet. What I can talk you through is how to navigate that landscape, and I have my opinion on that. We're working around that also in Digitaal Flanders, around how we're going to navigate that and how we're going to move actually from indeed a strategy to concrete actions that we can take today and that can help us in the future. So first is, let's dissect it. What do we talk about sovereignty? The first thing and the most critical thing I think is data sovereignty. We have to be in control of our data. As a government, there is no way around it. So this is, yeah, I mean, there's no way, you cannot move that. Control of the data, that means we need to know where it is, we need to know who has access to it, and we need to guarantee the integrity of that data. There's no way around it. But then you move a bit further and then you say, okay, we need to work with that data. So operational sovereignty already means something else. So we have to be obviously also in control there, but it's a bit more complex because suddenly we have to work with suppliers. There's a whole supply chain. There's third parties involved. How do we control them? Where are they? What do they do? So it becomes more complex, but still manageable if, and I will come back on that in a few seconds. Still manageable if you can actually navigate that. The last one, I'm just going to touch it, but let's not go there. If we really want to go to technical sovereignty, I mean, in Europe, sorry, we're very far off, and there is, of course, investments, and we are changing the game there. But this is for several years out, or more than 5 years out, before we get any movement on that part. On the other hand, okay, if we now look at the problem, how do you attack that problem? It's multidimensional, and it's not only sovereignty. You cannot put that alone. I mean, the answer is not, oh, I'll just put everything on a server in my basement. It's not the case because you have certain solutions today because you made some business decisions around it. on scalability, on security, on all these elements have to be factored back in. Price is an important element. It's your money that we work with, so it is important that we also consider that. Of course, I mean, no pain, no gain, but I mean, we cannot go indefinite with that. So the way I suggest to approach it is the same as we do with security, because it's actually a very similar problem. Take it risk-based. Define your risks. What if you cannot use that anymore? What is the risk? What do you lose? And from there you can define, okay, how important is it for me to have that? And then you can say, okay, what are the mitigating options? And from there you can actually navigate it, because that's the way you can put basically a risk assessment on all of these different things you need, and then you can navigate it. Then you can say, okay, based on that, this is more important, that's more important, this is less important. I can navigate the landscape, and now I can start finding solutions. And that's how we propose to do that. The other layer to that is obviously this is a big problem. I mean, I really mean it. There's no pain, no gain. It's going to cost us money. If we have to reduce our dependency on, let's name them, the big tech players, then we have to invest. That's clear. We also have to invest in security. We have to, so it's gonna. Okay, we have to navigate a bit where the budget goes, and in order to do that efficiently, we have to work together. I mean, in Flanders we are with 65 different agencies. We have more than 300 municipalities and 1,000 kind of intermediate structures in between. So if we all do that independently, it's not gonna move. So from Digital Flanders, we're looking at what is common, trying to come up with common solutions, trying to come up with a reference architecture, for instance, and building on that. This is equally for security as for digital sovereignty, because you can apply the solutions to that. Mm-hmm. And then you see, okay, yes, we can still use public cloud. There's no reason why we shouldn't use it. But for some parts, we have to go somewhere else. Yeah? So that's how we approach it, and we want to roll that out, and then obviously you have to translate into okay, what do I do tomorrow? There's a lot of movement on the market today. If we look, okay, what are the European solutions that are available? They are available. Okay, there's a bit of give and take, but will this still exist tomorrow? I mean, we don't know. So any decision you take today, you have to take into account that the change that we are experiencing now and the uncertainty that we are experiencing now is going to be there for the near future, for the next few years. Don't count on it to be solved with the next American government. No. It's not going to be solved. It is there to stay. It's the new normal. So let's weaponize that, or let's use it. And build portable solutions. I think that's the key thing also. So if you change anything, make sure that you reduce your dependencies on the technology already. That can also reduce your dependency on the technology provider. So that's one thing that I say. I mean, if we touch anything, it's going to go in that direction, and then you can make tactical decisions. Okay, I'll try this, I'll try that out, and I'll fail fast. But since I made it less dependent in the same go, we can quickly move, and that's the way to then, let's say, do a couple of short-term decisions, test something out, test a new AI solution, test this, try it out with a few digital services, and then move. If it works, put it in the bigger program, and move on from there. And from that experience, you can then build, and this is what we're doing now, your strategic roadmap, which include procurement, and which includes, I mean, we have many different partners of us here, and maybe future partners as well, build together with those partners our procurement roadmap on how we're going to source this, because we're not going to do it ourselves, of course. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how we navigate that landscape, and bring it really to the practical approach we can follow today.
Okay. Great insight, Steven. Thank you very much. Jérémy, do you want to add something to that? No, we don't hear Jérémy. Small technical problem.
Yep, obviously.
Okay.
No, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, now
Sorry
yes.
for that. So yeah, the first one for me is very important. See, working together. It's involved all the local ecosystem, but also all of Belgium. Federal authorities, the region, the community. That's really important indeed. And there is also no silver bullets. That's for me the second point really important. There will be trial, there will be error. We'll do obviously our best to minimize the impact and the cost, but we have to try. The world is changing very fast. If a few years before you tell the scenario, okay, imagine all your infrastructure, the cost will be 12 times higher than last month. What do you do the next month? That was a scenario for loony bins. But basically, right now, can be tomorrow. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a changing world. We have to discuss. We have to exchange. We have to standardize as much as we can, and respecting all the sensibility, the local sensibility for sure. But we have to move fast, efficient, and cost efficient.
Okay, great, great. Jérémy, so let's get even deeper. As a digital expert at the ADN, so Agence Numérique, and more specifically expert in cybersecurity, in your perspective, how can public institutions balance AI-driven innovation, cybersecurity, resilience, and compliance while maintaining citizen trust that was already mentioned by Steven?
Yep, just that.
Just that. Okay then.
Yeah, it will need sort of some work for sure. But the first thing to have, it's a plan, a strategy. That's more important than ever. If you go too fast, you really need to get a good plan and to planify the stuff. Take a pilot also. You need somebody to drive the boat you are building, and that's something we have done, by example, in Wallonia with the new strategy. That's for right now until 2029. And on 6 pillars, you will find some of them quite similar on yours, obviously. You have the smart and connected territory, cybersecurity, my church, so easier. Digital transformation and innovation. That's now it's divided. Before there was digital transformation, numeric invoice, stuff like this. Now we have to go further on that. Artificial intelligence, we have few programmers already who are gearing up to go faster and deeper with that. For example, Start and Tremplin IA to provide a pool of experts, so the company can try AI solution, but in good hands, because otherwise it's just a lab with no real direction and no meaning on that. Digital skills. Right now it's a very hot topic. Try to find a digital expert, cybersecurity or AI, go on the market, good luck on that. And for public sector, it's a real pain for a lot of projects and ambition. So that's really important. And data sovereignty. Data is a new goal. Data is clearly the new fuel for the economy and for the strategy. The public sector also. We need data to decide, to planify, to evaluate. That's important also. We go faster. We need to evaluate faster also. Are we going good? Are we going on the right path, right direction? And that's just the basic. So you have a direction, you need the pilot, so a good collaboration for the local entity and the federated entity also. That's really important. And then you get AI in the mix. So everyone want to try AI. That's the new stuff. And so you try to put some boundaries with the public sector, inside the public sector. And so you have to test, you have to try, and you have to fail time to time. And to say, okay, this is the way we want to use AI for the public and for the public agent also, the guys working behind the scene, in fact. Because the trust is important. If you send some data to the public sector and they say, okay, we'll use whatever we find as a tool and we don't care, where is the trust? Mm-hmm. How can you provide assurance that the data will be correctly managed, and correctly used, stored, and protected? That's really important. And there is also innovation, and you have to support the businesses with that. So you have to go to speed. If they go faster, you have to go faster too. And they are faster than us. Let's be real. But we are catching up, and we are trying really to put that in shape. Cybersecurity and resilience. I think that's quite a hot topic. When you see, that was I think yesterday. There was in Brussels also a huge data breach. Even in Wallonia, we have a huge incident. For the election, there was a lot of DDoS. All the sector are basically impacted. So we need to build, and we need to build at the same time, because the idea is I will take the stronger one, and I will go faster and deeper with them. Okay, but what for the rest? You will create an imbalance in the region, in the country, even in Europe. That's somebody a reality, and so that will be easier target for them. So we really want to try to avoid that. But it's obviously more complicated to make a plan for everyone and go to speed, even if there are small differences between them, than to just say, okay, I take the best one and we go.
Yeah.
So that takes time, that's difficult. Collaboration is really important, and we're discussing already with the local authority, public sector, private sector, the region, but also the federal level. For example, we have a new CIT, so a cyber response team will go, I hope, soon online, and that will be created with the help of the CCB directly. They are involved since the beginning. That's not something that would just appear on the map. It's made, incorporated in the schematic of the thing, so they are good to go, and they are behind the project. And that's for me the new basic. Same for the collaboration with the region. No? Cybersecurity and data have no language. There are no barrier on that. So if it impacts us, it will impact everybody else. And you get also all the regulatory landscape. Europe was absolutely hyperkinetic with that the last few years. We have never seen so many legislation on so many topics. You take just GDPR, that was the small one, the good one, I will say, the easy one, and then you gear up to NIS 1, NIS 2. NIS 2, it's a huge, it's colossal as an impact. You put the AI Act on top of that, plus all the Data Act who is coming. And how do you want to manage that? I explain just for the public sector. It's absolutely colossal impact for them. Yeah. And you need, as you said, balance. So you need to say, okay, I can do that at that speed, at that impact, that level of detail, and then you advance and you evaluate, and then you go again and you evaluate. And you have to choose the battle, basically. You cannot do everything in once, that will be a disaster. And again, you have to maintain trust. So some other things are mandatory, you have no choice, cybersecurity, data, AI, but how far, how deep, with who, you have really to be careful with that and advance in a good pace. And for the regulatory issue, it's an opportunity. That's something I try to sell every time I see the people when I speak to them. Okay, it's a pain in the ass, let's be honest. That's really difficult. But it's the opportunity to do the thing we know we have to do, and we have no leverage on that. Even the politics cannot ignore it anymore. It's a law in Belgium, needs to. You have to comply to it. And the public sector is important or sometimes essential. Again, that to guarantee that level of trust and efficiency we have to try to attain. So yeah, that's really a huge challenge, that's for sure, but also a huge opportunity.
Okay. Great. Stephen, maybe something to add? Also?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. I think I totally agree that we follow the same path in Flanders. We've centralized on certain of these areas, building expertise around AI and bringing that back to the different agencies. And I mean, on that topic, I mean, we've been criticized at a certain moment. Why does the Flemish government want to work with AI? In our case, or also with Copilot. Why do you want to do that? Because the data, and it's so dangerous. And if we don't get an idea, and we cannot actually look at the ethical issues of that, and how can we as a government really work with that? Because the world is changing. I mean, we have to use it. If we don't do it, then it will be forced upon us, and we lose again the control. So yes, we have to do that. We have to experiment with it, potentially fail fast, but at least we learn the lessons and we move forward with that. Security is an area that I like to not fail. But it's, I mean, it's not. We can never be perfectly safe. It's not going to happen. So it's not a question of will we ever have a problem. It's just a question of when will we have a problem, and then we have to be ready. So that's also why we bring all of that expertise centrally together. So that also, I mean, we talk also between the regions and with the federal level on security. We try to build a good cooperation there, and we try to support each other. CCB is central in Belgium, but I mean they've got a huge task to do this for the whole of Belgium. So if we can take a bit of the load off by doing similar things, complementary things in Flanders, and by taking the lead on that, it only helps. And the last one I wanted to pick on the regulation, let's say. Yeah, it's a help sometimes. I would say I'm also responsible for security, so NIS2 and the Belgian translation of it helps because well, we really pushed the boundary in Belgium. We're kind of leading in Europe, or leading, or we cause a bit more pain for ourselves, maybe. I mean, depends on how you look at it. Anyway, it helps to put it on the agenda. So that's good. The danger with regulation is the counterpart. I mean, if you turn this around, is that it becomes a compliance checkbox. Yeah, okay, we're there. And I think we need to make sure that, and this is the big push that we are doing, we need to move beyond that. So we need to really say, okay, yes, compliance is important, but how you implement that compliance, this really has to be an active cyber defense. It's not just a compliance statement. You really have to have the active component in it. You constantly have to update it. And that's a big push, because this is really changing the mindset. It's never done. The work is never done. Not on Friday, definitely not, because those attacks will be in the weekend, and definitely not in the holidays, because also that's when they attack. And don't say anything about Ukraine, because we are under attack. But that's okay. Reality, yeah.
Thank you very much, Jérémy and Steven. Great insights. So now let me turn to the audience. I'm quite happy, it's full house.
Yep.
So I will open the floor to the audience. So if someone in the audience has questions, reflections, then please share it. It's the right moment, so if someone can raise his hand. I know it's always difficult to get the first question, so let's be brave.
Maybe just throw them a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Someone?
We were that clear?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
it was all very clean.
We were crystal clear.
Yeah.
Nobody?
No.
Ah, yes, someone. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
We hear you.
Can hear you.
No, we don't hear you. Okay, the old way.
Okay. Now I can hear myself also. Well, thank you for an interesting discussion. Thing that we're always running into is well, the power of technologies like AI, and combining it with the necessary security. I've heard some other speakers say, well, we went to private cloud, but that wasn't an option for us because we wanted to use to make full use of other technologies like AI. How do you cope with that? How do you make the right decision and balance technologies like AI and security together?
Well, okay, I can start. So there's no perfect answer for that. I think it's as I said, if you find that to really build out such a solution you need public cloud, well, okay, then you need to secure it, and that's and then I don't. Let's be clear. I mean, you can perfectly work secure on public cloud. You lose a bit on your sovereignty there. That's and there's a risk in there. So it can never be. It can never be the permanent solution. Don't store your data there and say, okay, it's there. Make sure that there are good backups and all of that. But why not? I mean, those pipelines can be there. We have also pipelines, data pipelines running on the hyperscalers. That's possible. But I mean, in the long term, we need to look at this architecture that is needed there, and you need, obviously, depends on what you do with AI. If it's just inference, okay, it's fine. You need a bit less of, but if you start training models, you need massive amounts of compute power, and it's still easier to get that on a cloud platform. I'm assuming that in the next few years we will have alternatives also in Europe to provide us the same kind of infrastructure. But today we have to be clever about how we use it. I think that's a bit the danger with what we see in the press around security, one thing, but also sovereignty. It's like an all or nothing. Okay, the danger of the off switch If our American orange friend says, "I'll switch off Europe," he can do it. Can he do it? We don't know. We don't know for sure until he does it. But the risk is there. So how do you manage the risk? Make sure you take an insurance. Make sure that you have an exit solution, that you have a backup solution. But doesn't mean you cannot use it while it's up and running. Of course, you have to secure it. But I mean, I think the security level of the hyperscalers is sufficiently high enough that you can say, okay, for security measures, that's fine. Dependency, it's something else. So that I think is a bit I said there's no silver bullet there, so you have to navigate it a bit.
Thank you.
You'd go back in fact to risk management, really. So what do you want to do with what kind of data, what the purpose, what the public, and also challenge sometimes I will call it the business, but the one who want to do it. Most of the time they want something really big, really shiny. When you look under the hood, local model can do it in fact. So that's really important also to be listen to the business, what they need to do, and provide solution. For security, for example, it's really important to not be always the no people. Otherwise, they will find a way to just around it, and you go right to the realm of shadow IT, and we don't want that.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
We
That
still
was
have
another
3
hand.
minutes 30. It's not finished. We are wrapping up, as we say. So I will share a few takeaways. I tried to do it without your answers. So I think I'm not so far away from it. So today we've seen that innovation and compliance are not opposites, but by finding the right balance, we can truly accelerate the digital transformation in the public sector. Partnerships, especially with organizations like we mentioned, CCB, are essential. Together we are stronger and better equipped to face cyber threats. We should not view regulations like NIS2, GDPR, AI Act as obstacles, but as opportunities to modernize and future-proof our services. Above all, every digital initiative must keep citizen trust as its core, because trust is the foundation of the public services. And finally, real progress happens when federal, regional, and local government work hand in hand. So collaboration is the key to lasting impact. So that was the key takeaways. I think I'm quite happy to have done it like that. So I have to finish with a few practicalities before you leave the session. So you will have the possibility to scan a QR code at, let's say, when you will leave the room. Please scan this code. We have a few questions because, you know, feedback is a gift. That's always something we say at Proximus Next. So it will help us to improve for the next session. So thank you very much. Again, thank you, Jérémy and Steven, for being present. And it was really great to have you on board.
Thank you for me.
Proximus Next. Tech Biz People.